Okay, worksheet today. It's just a review of just those two shapes, the Ninja Spider-Man one and solving for segments. So I'll do a couple of these, not many of them. Pretty straightforward. I'll try to do a couple of ones with the quadratics because those are the more complicated ones. All right, so here's a basic generic one. So we know if we have the Ninja right here, then the pattern is the whole darn thing times the thing on the outside is equal to the whole darn thing on the other side times the thing on the outside. Oh, I'm all colorful today. So let's see. With numbers, I would see the whole darn thing would be 8 plus x times the thing on the outside. The thing on the outside is 8 is equal to the whole darn thing on the outside. That's 9 plus 7 is 16 times the thing on the outside, which is a 9. Okay, so numbers here are a little bit large, but no big deal here. So let's see. Remember, distributive property, 8 times 8 is 64. Remember when this x is on the outside is when we get a quadratic, and we'll do one like that. So let's see, 8 times 8 is 64 plus 8x. Let's see, is equal to what? 16 times 9 is 144. And then it's just a matter of doing a little bit of algebra. Even the quadratic ones, I mean, it's just a little bit of algebra. So subtract 64 from both sides and we get 80. So 8x is equal to 80. I could do this faster with a pencil. If I had to do this for another year, I probably would buy one of those stylus things, and therefore x is equal to 10. Much easier. Maybe I still will. Okay, so there's a basic one right there. Let's see what some of the other ones look like. So that's one. Oh, here's the other flavor right here. Yeah, let's do this one. All right, so let's see. So the pattern is this times this is equal to this times this. All right, so let's see. 8 times x is 8x. And let's see, 16 times 7. Is that right? 16 times, so yeah, 16, 7, 42, carry your 4, 112. Ooh, does 8 go into 112? Let's see if we can do this in our head real quick. 8 goes into 11 one time with 3 left over, 32. 8 goes into 32 4 times. So x is equal to 14. All right, those are the two flavors. The only thing left to do is simply see which ones look. Oh, it's technically this is a sub flavor of the secant ones. So this is a secant and a tangent. All right, I'll do this one. All right, so let's see the whole darn thing. That's this thing right here. So that'd be 12 plus x. Remember, if x is on the outside, is the one that gives us problems. X is not on the outside; it's on the inside. Times 12. They like 144. We're gonna get another 144 is equal to 18 squared. I don't even know what 18. I'm 324. I've got a calculator next to me. 18 squared. My calculator says that is 8 times 8 is 64. So yeah, it's got to end in a 4. 324. So we got a 144. I'm distributing the 12 to the inside plus 12x. Oh, I can't write on a line. Oh, this looks like a first grader's doing this. All right, so subtract 144 from both sides and we get 180. So 12x is equal to 180. Let's see, 12 goes into 18 one time with 6 left over. So 6 and a 0, 12 goes into 65 times. And there we go. So that's all the flavors that you will see. The only thing left is, let's see if we can do one of these ninja ones with the X on the outside. So that one's straightforward, 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 that one's, I'm looking, oh, here we go. X is on the outside. All right, I'll do, I don't know, maybe 2 of these and we'll call it a day. All right, so let's see. We'll do the easy part first. So the whole darn thing, 5 plus 3 is 8 times the thing on the outside. And that is a 5. I didn't put parentheses. It's not 85. It's 8 times 5, which is 40. And yes, you can do that all in one step. is equal to the whole darn thing. So that would be 8x plus, so the whole darn thing from here to here. So that would be x plus 6. And this is where the ugly quadratic raises its head, although these aren't that bad. Sorry, quadratics, for calling you ugly, times x. All right, so we get 40 is equal to x times x is x squared plus 6x. Remember, we're going to move everything to one side, the side with the x squared. We like x squared to be positive. So if it was negative x squared, I'd move the negative x squared. But since x squared is positive, I'm going to move this to this side, and then I'm going to do a double flip. So I'm just going to write it backwards. In other words, I want to say equals 0. So x squared plus 6x minus 40. And this is a common thing in higher level math. So we like our x, the positive x squares to be on the left side. Not that it has to be. Minus 40 is equal to 0. Okay, so this one is a quadratic that needs to be factored. And I'll just say I only gave you factorable quadratics, so no quadratic formula necessary. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which you will see again in algebra 2. All right, so let's see. We need two numbers multiplied together that are negative 40 that add to positive 6. So remember, I just do it systematically. A 1 and a 40. 1 times 40 is 40. We need 1 to be negative. Doesn't matter, but that doesn't get me to positive 6. How about 2 and 20? I'm going to skip the negatives. There's just no way to get there. 3 doesn't go. 4 does. 4 and 10. 4 and 10 gives me, I need to get to a negative 40. So one of these has to be negative. But I need to get to a positive 6, so I want the 4 to be negative, the 10 to be positive. All right, so I always do my quadratics that way, a little bit of scratch work off to the side. And I'll just say, I try not to do these in my head because they're just easy to make a mistake. So let's see, we got an x minus 4 and an x plus 10. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. And negative 4 plus 10 is positive 6, which is what we wanted. All right. So now all we do is we set this equal to 0, this equal to 0, and solve for each. And remember, that's the zero product property. So we get two possible answers, 4 and a negative 10. I'm going to look back to my picture to see which one of these it is. So these would be in these braces. Well, x can't be negative 10 because it's on the outside and it's got to be a positive value. So x is 4. And that's the answer. And that's how all these ones that are, so x is equal to 4 is final answer. Oh, look, another 4. Yesterday, it seemed like all the answers were 4. We got another one. All right, so I'm going to quickly run through these to see if I see anything that looks strange. Oh, x on the outside, quadratic. X on the outside, quadratic, quadratic. Oh, so this one looks a bit more complicated because it simply has a variable expression. It's just a bunch of algebra. There's nothing challenging here. There's no quadratic, right? I'll go ahead and do this one. So let's see. So it's that first flavor, Ninja or Spider-Man. This times this. So 6 times 3x minus 3 is equal to, could you do that in your head? Sure. I mean, if you were looking at the two and you know there's a distributive property, it wouldn't be much of a stretch to say that's 18x minus 18 is equal to 9 times 10 is 90. And yes, I would expect you to do that one in your head. And then we just simply solve. So add 18 to both sides. So we get 108. Ooh, 108. Can you do 108 divided by 18 in your head? Well, let's think this through. So we have to, the last digit has to be an 8. And what times 8 gives me an 8? 8 times 6 is 48. Yeah, that's it. I left off my x, didn't I? Sorry. So x is equal to not 4 this time, x is equal to 6. By the way, if you didn't catch that last trick, I always look at the last digit. So what times 8 winds up in 8? 8 times 1 is 8, but 18 times 1 is not 108. 18 times 2 is 16. 18 times 3 is 24. 18 times 4 is 32. I'm thinking of the last digit there, 2s. 18 times 5 is 40, ends in a 0, not an 8. 18 times 6, 48, ends in an 8. So 6 would be a candidate, and yeah, that's the answer. All right. Oh, and by the way, remember it's geometry, so you can always use calculator. No x on the outside, so not quadratic, just distributive property. No x on the outside, no x on the outside, and that's it. So just a couple that were quadratic. So these look like they'll be very ugly. Look here, the numbers are a little bit strange in the sense of where they physically are. So the thing on the outside is 9 on that, and the thing on the outside is 10. So 9 plus 21 is 30. So 10 plus x plus 10. So that would be x plus 20 would be the whole thing times 10. So you should be able to handle that, no problem. All right. If not, just ask. I'll more than happy to send you an explanation. And that's it. It's just a quick worksheet just to drill this stuff in your head. And then tomorrow we'll follow up with a review for the test, and then we'll take the test.